Hello everyone, my name's April Paris and I am the Communications Coordinator at My Heart Creative. I want to state right up front that this is a live video, so if you replay this later on, keep in mind that I might be interacting with some live comments or questions. So let's get started. Today I want to talk to you about blogging and give you some tips to make it easier and help keep your blogs going. Now, the first step when you're blogging is to determine why you're blogging. And this is very important to consider because you need to think about your audience. And your audience will guide your blogs. So your blogs might need to show your expertise. You just might be blogging, a makeup tutorial. You're blogging to show expertise, but also it's just to keep people interested and keep them current on the latest trends. You also might want to blog to share stories. So, for example, when I'm blogging at work, we're typically showing expertise, giving tips. I have a personal blog that is just for my amusement, the amusement of my friends. It's basically silly cat stories. So you have to think, you're never going to see a silly cat story on a My Heart Creative blog because that's not the audience. Our audience is our clients, our customers, people who have an interest in what we do. Now, when you are blogging, you have to consider that you will typically have some sort of mix in your styles. For example, we have a text and spacing blog that is very informative. It's to teach our clients how to use our WebVis CMS. But we don't want to be boring and have all informative, long, intense blogs. We also want to let our clients know what's going on. So, for example, we have a blog called Our Clients Have Our Hearts, and that is about our client party, which was so much fun. So, any questions? Comments? Okay, good. The second step in blogging is, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, is to make a schedule. And here's why. A lot of people put blogging off. It is not a high priority. So what will happen is blogs will be started, you'll work on them for a couple months, and then it's a year since it's been touched. You need to keep the content fresh. You need to keep it fresh for your SEO. You also need to keep it fresh for your readers. They're going to stop coming to your blog if they don't think you're ever blogging again. Also, if you just blog sporadically, it's going to give a poor impression. It says that you're not dedicated, especially for a company. If you don't, you do not have any news to share. So just keep in mind, you want to keep going. And set some goals. Make this easy for yourself. You don't have to blog every day. You don't have to blog every week. Try blogging once a month or once every other month. Just don't go 5 years without putting a blog out. If you really don't have the time to do it, which I think you can make that time, it's really best not to blog at all. So the other reason why you need to make a schedule is to make it easier for yourself. So if you've scheduled yourself to make one blog every month, then you've got a deadline. When you have that deadline, you're going to give yourself time to write, time to review, time to get your blog as polished and professional as possible. So if you have a blog that you're trying to get blogs out, you don't have it on your schedule, you write a blog in 15 minutes, typos happen. Typos happen in the best of circumstances, but you really want to put your best foot forward. So give yourself that time, give yourself that schedule, and make sure that you have everything laid out, and also try to bring people in to help you. Even if it's just a friend, say, hey, look over this blog, and then you've got plenty of time to move forward with it. Okay, so here's a personal example of why you need to schedule your blogs. The blog at My Heart Creative, we keep pretty current. We have blogs going all the time. My personal blog is not a high priority for me, and I have not touched it in months. I thought I would just let inspiration come to me. Well, it doesn't. It just kind of falls apart. So that's why you need to make a schedule. It's easy to let your blogs go to the back burner until they're just not useful for you anymore. All right, blogging tip number 3, your topics. And this is where I think some people get confused. So you need to choose your topics, but it's really a lot easier than you think. I keep a list, and I talk to other people, and their ideas go into my list. Would this make a nice blog? This thing is happening in the studio. This would probably make a great blog. Is this something clients are asking about? We can create a blog. It's a lot easier if you keep a running list and then take something that's relevant and create a blog out of it. So, and again, that brings us to relevance. Your topics need to be relevant. Again, I am not going to be blogging about my cat and putting it on My Heart Creative. I'm sorry. If you want cat blogs, you can find plenty of them. But I am going to write about our featured artist, Miss Wendy O'Connor back there. She's going to be a blog very soon. So consider what your audience finds important. Do they find your, what are you doing? Are you a nonprofit? You want to share your outreaches. You want to share the impact you're having. If you're a business, you want to share the latest business news. You want to share what's changing, what can be useful. And a last thing I think when you're choosing your topics is to take a look at your analytics. If you have Google Analytics, perfect. If you have a WebVis CMS website or most other websites, you will, or at least our WebVis, you have the little stats section. It will show you your blogs. It will show you what people are looking at, what people are clicking. This will give you an idea of what your audience is and is not responsive to. So let that guide you when you are creating your list and choosing your topics. So when you have your list and you're ready to go, we're going to go to step 4, and that is you have to plan and create. Now, there are different questions of length when it comes to blogging if you do your research. Some people will say, make short blogs so that people read them. Other things will say you need to make a long blog. You can make it 1,500 words, get in all these keywords, it'll help your SEO. That's really up to you. Just out of current research, you're lucky if people read 300 words of your blog. Most people are going to scan it. So if you're the type of writer who has 1,500 words to say and can say it in a clear, concise way, then go ahead and go for it. But don't feel intimidated if you really aren't comfortable going beyond 300-400 words. It's really about getting the content out there and letting people know what you have to share. And also, if you are not a writer, video blogs are amazing. You'd probably enjoy doing this much more than I would. So you can create a video and you can put it on your blog. And the video can be the bulk of your content. You don't have to write everything out. Now, I will put a little caveat here. You will need to write a little content for your video blog, just for your SEO crawling, and also just to kind of make it interesting. People, if they pull up a blog and they just see a video, explain it. Explain what it's about, why they should read it, and any information that you think is relevant. But you don't have to put everything in words if that's really uncomfortable for you. Now here's my last tip for when you're creating your blog. make sure that you break it up. It doesn't matter if your blog is 400 words. It doesn't matter if your blog is 1,500 words. Just get some interesting pictures, use some different headers. You can see we've put some blogs in the feed so you can take a look at how we do it. If you use some pictures and headers and you make it scannable, there's a good chance that you're going to get people to actually, if not read every single word you've written, kind of move forward with it. So they'll at least get a sense of everything that you've said. They'll highlight the important information, and it also, they might be more likely to share it if it's something that they find interesting and visually appealing. This is why the blogs that we create here at My Heart Creative are really amazing. And my personal little blog on my free platform doesn't have very many followers because they're just little pictures taken on my phone. So again, make sure you can get some interesting pictures. There's a lot of stock photos that you can add, do some searches. Always make sure that those stock photos are free for you to use or that you have permission to use them. You don't want to get in trouble for that. But it is very important that you do something to make your blog visually appealing. Very few people are just going to look up a bunch of paragraphs and say, hey, I have the time to read that. They don't. And finally, I really want to encourage people, don't be afraid to blog. Don't be afraid to write. I talk to a lot of people and they're nervous. And I think a lot of people aren't used to writing outside of a school setting. No one's grading you. If you write a blog and people don't really respond to it, that's okay. Do better next time. You know, have somebody work with you. Just, get the content out there. Start working with it. You might find it's more fun than you think. Be expressive. Be yourself. And try to take the pressure off of yourself. You do not have to be a professional writer for people to enjoy your work. In fact, a lot of bloggers don't have writing degrees and they are very popular. So look around, find some blogs you like, see why you like them, consider what they're bringing that appeals to you, and also find somebody to help you prove. This can be, like I said before, you can have a coworker, you can have a friend, a family member. I have coworkers here all the time proof my blogs because I need them. I go blind to the things that I've written because I'm reading it one way, and they'll catch it for me. And if you do go live and you have mistakes in your blog, that's not ideal, but don't panic because you can edit it. Just always make sure you're reading and proofing, and try to enjoy the experience. Your first couple blogs might be uncomfortable, but as you go forward and you get a feel for it, I think that you will learn to enjoy it, and you're just going to keep improving. Practice makes perfect. So, looks like I have moved a little bit faster than I intended. So we're going to make this live video end a little early. I'd like to thank you for joining me. If you have any questions at all about blogging or websites or would like to contact us, please email info@myheartcreative, and look forward to a new blog coming out for Wendy O'Connor, our current artist. Isn't that pretty? All right, and thank you for your time, and I will see you all later.